Good morning, children. Today we are going to start the lesson materials, metals and non-metals. You know that very hard substances, some of the metallic substances like that, iron, aluminium, copper. Can you name material which are metals? And metals, normally metals are hard. You are very familiar that. Metals can be distinguished from non-metals on the basis of their physical and chemical properties. Now let us understand some of the physical properties of the metals and non-metals. You know the shape of the iron nail and the aluminium wire changed on beating their shape. If they were beaten very hard, they changed their shape into sheets. You might have familiar with silver foil used in decorating sweets. Like that, many of the example properties. The property of converting a nail into sheet like structure, that is called as malleability. You can see one example here in the activity one. Take a small iron nail and a coal piece and a piece of thick aluminum wire and goes on beat the iron nail with a hammer. Try to hit hard. You will see that it is changing into a shape. It is changing into a thin shape. Now let us see the observation of the activity one. You will see that the shape of the iron nail and the aluminum wire changed on beating. If they were beaten hard, these could be changed into sheets. You might be familiar with silver foil used in making decoration of the sweets. The property of metal which can be beaten into thin sheets is called malleability. This is the property of metal. Can you hold a metallic pan which is without a plastic or wooden handle? Not get hurt? Perhaps not. Why? Try to list some other experiences in which a wooden or plastic handle protects you from being hurt. While handling hot things on the basis of these experiences, what can you say about the conduction of heat by wood and plastic? You must have seen that electrician using his screwdriver with plastic made substance because they doesn't conduct the electricity. You know that metals are good conductors of electricity. Any substance which conducts electricity is called as conductivity. You can see that. So the picture represents that the metallic wires, copper wires are joined together, that which transmit the electricity. So this is the best example that metals are good conductors of electricity. In the activity, metals are conducting the electricity. So how can you see? Let us understand the observation. You will observe that iron rod, nail, copper wire are good conductors, while rolled sulfur piece and coal are poor conductors. Through this we can come to know that which of the metals are poor conductors and which are good conductors. As the metals are good conductors and non-metals are less good conductors, poor conductors. Now let's understand ductility. Where do you find the use of aluminium and copper wires? Have you seen wires of coal? Definitely not. The property of metal by which it can be drawn into wires is called as ductility. Sonorousness. The things made of metals produce ringing sound when struck hard surface. That is called as sonorousness. These are the property of metal, ductility and sonorousness. After performing the above activities, we can say that some materials are hard, lustrous, malleable, ductile, sonorous, and good conductors of heat and electricity. Materials which generally possess these properties are called metals. The examples: iron, copper, aluminum, calcium. And the substances which doesn't respond to the hard surface and which can be make it into a powder form and which doesn't respond to sound. All these are the best examples of non-metals. Till now we have discussed about the physical properties. Now let's understand about the chemical properties of metals and non-metal. Now when a reaction with oxygen, you are familiar with phenomenon of rusting of iron. Iron normally exists outside. When it reacts with atmospheric oxygen, it changes into iron oxide. Now let's understand that how the process takes place. Let us check the nature of rust formed as a result of the reaction between iron, oxygen, and water. Collect a spoonful of rust and dissolve it in a very little amount of water. You will find that the rust remains suspended in water. Shake the suspension well. Test the solution with red and blue litmus paper. What do you observe? Is the solution is acidic or basic? Now, so in the same way, you must have observed that the red litmus turns blue. So oxides of magnesium is also basic in nature. In general, all the metal oxides are basic in nature. That's why red litmus turns to blue. Now activity 4, to observe the action of oxygen on sulfur. Now procedure, take a small amount of sulfur powder in a deflagrating spoon and heat it as shown in the figure. Heat the sulfur powder on a low flame. When sulfur starts burning, introduce the spoon into the glass jar and cover it with a lid. Do not expose yourself to the fumes as they are toxic. Now put a small amount of water into the jar and shake it. Test the solution with a blue litmus paper. What do you observe? So now sulfur reacts with oxygen in the air to form sulfur dioxide, which when dissolved in water forms sulfurous acid that turns blue litmus. As acid turns into basic. So SO2 plus H2O gives rise to H2SO3. Take a small amount of powdered sulfur in a deflagrating spoon and heat it. If deflagrating spoon is not available, you may take metallic cap of any bottle and be careful while doing.